Hello and welcome to your messages for the week. Today is Sunday, the 28th of April, 2024. So the last few days of April. If you haven't already seen the messages for the month of April, then I'll link in the description, video in the end screen. It was all about giving birth to heaven on earth, which is what we're here to do, right? And of course, look out this week very soon for the, oops, I'm going to come out, didn't it? For the messages for the month of May, because we're coming into May this week, aren't we? So keep an eye open for those, and let's see how we get on. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Deborah Jane Sutton, and you can find out more about me and the things that I do from my website at deborahjanesutton.com or from this YouTube channel. So have a good browse around. Okay, we have quite a few cards here. They're all face down at the moment. And we've got 7 actually in total. Interesting. And we're going to dive straight in. They're all face down. We're just going to see what comes up. Massive changes. Already, I want to say, when we think of changes, we usually think of things physically changing in our physical reality. And of course, that's true because wands are physical action in the physical world. And it's fire and transformation and things that we need to be bold and courageous about. But as soon as I saw him, I'm thinking, these changes that come in our physical reality are because of the changes that that we create from within, because we know that the outside is a reflection of the inside, as within, so without. So when changes do happen in our perceived outside world, they're coming from a change on the inside of us. So if we do want big changes to happen, maybe we want to change countries or change jobs or change location, change relationships, we want to improve things. Maybe we want to improve our health, our financial situation, our love life, our working life, whatever it might be. And we always look to do things, don't we? We always look, what can I do in the outside world to make my outside world better? And it's the realization, isn't it, that you don't have to do anything in the outside world. All the doing that needs to be done is on the inside. So this is a real interesting reminder that the outside is born out of the inside. So I think this is there is something about being bold and courageous, because I'd already picked up, because I kind of just closed my eyes for a couple of minutes before I press record and see what comes through. And it is all about, excuse me, feeling. You know, it's about feeling, because our frequency is so connected to our feeling, and our creations, our holographic projection that we're calling life, is a reflection of our frequency. So how we feel in every now moment is everything. I mean, it's logical, isn't it? I'm seeing this as a logical way to see things, because if your outside world is a direct vibrational match to how you're feeling, then it makes sense to, it's not just make that feeling more positive. No, this is where I think positive thinking gets us, confused, because it's so easy when you think, oh, I don't feel very happy or whatever. And you think, oh, I mustn't feel like that. That's negative thinking. And then you distract yourself so that you don't feel it, or you push it down, of course, so that you don't feel it. So this positive thinking it's not about always feeling great, but it is about always being aware of how you're feeling, because that awareness is everything. I want to go as far as to say, you are your awareness, and we are creating our physical reality from the level of our awareness. And I think this is a really important point, because a lot of you I know on this path have processed emotions. You've had your adversity, your trauma in life. You're processing it, and you're getting these layers of the onion that we often talk about, where you revisit. And the reason we revisit emotions is so that we can process them from a higher level of awareness. So if it's a negative emotion, so for example, grief and sadness. Okay, grief is something that comes into all of our lives at some time or another, just simply by loving people, right? Loving and losing, I want to say, however that losing may be. Obviously, sometimes it's attached to shock and trauma and disbelief and injustice and things like that. But you know, even the most beautiful of passings, transitionings, come laden with grief. And what's interesting is that when you open your heart and make this choice to serve humanity by serving yourself, right? We serve ourselves, we serve humanity. But once you have started on that path and you realize that when you're healing yourself, and it's not just healing yourself, I want to say when you're processing an emotion, that you're actually doing it on behalf of the collective. So if you are feeling grief and sadness, for example, and you know to feel into it, because we've learnt those lessons, haven't we? You know, we're not going to push it down. We're not going to numb it out with substances and distractions. So we kind of need the solitude, I guess, or the like-minded souls around us to really process, to really feel it. Processing really means feel it, but it starts off feeling it to do with whatever the trigger was in your physical reality. So something's going to trigger that negative emotion. It could be anger, of course, as well. It could be all sorts of things, regret, remorse, what have you. But something's going to trigger that. And you're going to start off feeling that emotion towards that trigger. But then you realize that you are the whole universe in one human being. And you realize that that emotion that is coming up is your sadness, it's your grief. And the person that was the trigger gave you the gift of identifying it and gave you the gift of the opportunity to feel deep into it, but to feel deep into it with an open heart. You know, I mean, we often talk about grief being born out of love, unlike a lot of emotions. Grief is a little bit different, isn't it? Because it's born out of love. But if you can actually perceive it, that grief is love, your heart can open, and then you can feel that sadness, that grief, within the magnitude of the love frequency. And you can feel it on behalf of the collective, on behalf of all those that have dumbed it down, all those that have distracted themselves from it, all those that are afraid to look it in the eye and feel it. That happens a lot, doesn't it? We're afraid to feel the intensity of these emotions. So when you're on this path, although things get easier in most ways, I think life gets more and more beautiful, right? In most ways, you can see the beauty in the grief, but also things can get a little more intense because you are the whole universe in one human being. And when you open your heart to allow that awareness, because when you're aware that you can do this, when you are aware that you have the opportunity to open your heart and feel sadness and grief or whatever other emotion on behalf of the collective, when you realize you are that powerful and you are aware, that's where the boldness and the courage comes from. It takes courage, doesn't it? But when you realize that you are love and you're opening your heart with that divine love, it kind of gets all carried and intense, yes, but you came here to do that. This is what you came here to do, to feel the emotions on behalf of the collective, so that when you've processed that, felt it, it raises your frequency, which we know raises the frequency of the collective. And that's what you came here to do. And when you are aware of that, the intensity kind of ramps up to another level. It's your awareness that is creating your reality. And it's your awareness that's creating your power. When you are aware of how powerful you are in this way, then you are powerful in this way. Do you see what I mean? And when we do this, this is how we change the physical world, our perceived physical reality. This is how we change the holographic projection that we're calling life. This is how we change it. This is what, because this card in tarot has the greatest capacity for change. But he's really reminding me today that that change starts within. And you have that greatest capacity for change purely from being aware that when you feel an emotion, you're feeling it on behalf of everyone. And that's how you serve. That's how we serve humanity. Wow. Jumped in deep there, didn't I? I'm assuming that there's the homework for this week is going to be to listen to Neville Goddard's audiobook on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description. Video in the end screen. It's called Feeling is the Secret. And even if you've already listened to it, which I have a couple of times, I'm going to listen to it again because it's one of those things. It's only 45 minutes long, but you get something more from it each time. So wow. Let's have a look at the other cards. This is the person who isn't doing this work, isn't aware. See, she's come right on the heels. Okay, this is awareness of you being the powerful force behind any change that you want to see in the world outside of you. Wow. Yes, this card is representing the power that you are to change everything and anything that you would like to change, that you would prefer to see differently in the world outside of you. And she's come to show us how we feel when we're not aware of that power. And it's all to do with our thinking, our beliefs, our opinions. It's our thought processes, isn't it? Swords, air, thought processes. And she feels restricted. She feels tied because she can't see that her power lies within her. And even if it does sound a bit out there, at this stage, give it a go. Just you know, if it resonates with you, then you know that you have that level of awareness. And so it really does burst you out of these restrictions. And this ability just to see how the universe is created on the basis of frequency. That's basically what it is. I mean, it's simple on that level, isn't it? That the universe operates on the basis of frequency. Like Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So everything outside of you has to be a vibrational match to your thinking. So if you think that you're trapped, if you think that you can't change the outside, because the castle in the background in tarot represents your goals in life. And she can't see how she can create her goals in life because she's got all this negative thinking. You've got to believe in miracles to receive them. let's sum that one up, because the next card is the Nine of Pentacles. And I love the Nine of Pentacles. She's like the opposite, because she's realized that she is the creator of her own reality. And I call her Lady Muck. She's she's independent. She's an independence card. That doesn't mean that she's single. She could be single. She could not, maybe she's not single. But she's got everything that she wants. She loves what she's wearing. She loves what she's doing. She's playing with animals. She's out in nature. She's in her garden, swanning around her garden. She's enjoying her garden. She's enjoying what she's wearing, as I said. She's enjoying her life. She's enjoying her animals. She's enjoying nature. And she has money. Pentacles is typically money, but we also know it's abundance of all kinds. So she has love. She has health. She has happiness. She has joy. And she has financial security. Might not be millions, but she has plenty. She has enough money to do everything and anything she wants. And she keeps these three, okay, because she's very practical, because Pentacles is earth, very resourceful, very down to earth, very practical. And so she's always going to have her needs met. But she invests these Pentacles in what she loves doing. And she's really learned that we can serve humanity by quite literally doing what we love. And when I've said that in the past, I've always kind of thought of like me reading tarot, you know, or a lot of yoga teachers love yoga and love sharing it, you know, so you're doing what you love. But it goes further than that. I had an experience the other week on a massage couch, funny enough. One of the things I love doing is having regular massages. And we had a really mind-blowing experience, the massage therapist and myself, because I remembered when learning the emotion code, when you're muscle testing, you can muscle test other people, of course. You can muscle test yourself, but you can muscle test other people, you know, by the arm one. Most of you will know that maybe. And in the emotion code, we can act as surrogate for somebody. So you can muscle test one person while acting as surrogate for a third person. So the third person either isn't there physically or is incapacitated in some way. And you can actually tune in to this person, but work on that person. Of course, this is what we all do as energy healers when we work over distance. We do it ourselves. We call that working by proxy, which is what I do. A lot of you would have had sessions with me, and that's more like working by proxy, when you tune into the person yourself and then you muscle test yourself. But this is kind of like a step in between those, where you muscle test on one person, but you're actually working on a third. Anyway, so this concept of working as a surrogate for other people came into my head while I was having the massage. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I can help people who have particular issues by having the massage myself, and then focusing on them, tuning into them, and having a massage will help them on some level. And I was like, oh my goodness, we really, really, really can. serve other people and serve the collective by doing what we love. It's like we don't even have to go out of our way. Just go for a massage. And then as I was like reeling from the self-realization, I got another download which said, why are you limiting it to one person? While we were talked about, while you're feeling into the grief and the sadness, you're processing grief and sadness on behalf of the collective. So why not, when you're having a massage and you're releasing the tension and the stress, and whatever knots you've got or trapped emotions? At the time we were working on trapped emotions around the hips. You know, if you're working on that, you can be working on that on behalf of the collective. But it comes with your awareness. It's going back to, you are your awareness. When you realize that you can do that, wow, then you can do that, because your reality, I know I've said it before, is a reflection of your awareness. It's powerful, isn't it? So my point being, with the Nine of Pentacles, what she's doing with this money, because she does probably donate some of it to charity, of course, and she probably is having massages and, you know, what we used to call pampering. But now, of course, that it's not just pampering, it's looking after yourself does look after the collective, because you are the whole universe in one human being. I know it's a bit mind-blowing, isn't it? Yeah, it was a bit of a aha moment for me at the time. So this is, she's investing in whatever she wants, whether it's travel, whether it's her new abundance activity, you know, whatever. But she knows that she needs to invest this money in the direction of the life that she wants to lead. So investing in maybe companies that are really conscious, and doing good work, you know, maybe healing centers, you know, all sorts of things that what we want to see in the world, you know, she's investing in that. So, wow, this is amazing, because she understands the power of doing what she loves. She gets to live this abundant life, okay, of ease and grace, knowing that she's serving the collective. In fact, you're serving the collective even more, because the higher your frequency, the higher the frequency of the collective. Wow. Wow, let's see what's going on. Okay, so now we've got the Ten of Swords, done and dusted, done and dusted. Okay, rock bottom, starting from scratch. But this is realizing that I think rock bottom is actually made of a trampoline, because when you hit rock bottom, I don't think you go splat like this. I think you hit rock bottom and then you wake up, you have a realization of like, oh my God, you can't go any lower, you're going to go up. So this is like the beginning, and because these are thoughts, what got him there was all this negative thinking, and this I want to say stubbornness. That's interesting how that came out. Stubbornness. Because, yeah, there is really a stubborn part of all of us, isn't there? There's a resistant part of all of us. There's a part of all of us that's just resistant to change, resistant to believing stuff that we were not brought up to believe. I think that's what it is, isn't it? It's like, nah, I can't get my head around it, so therefore it's not true. That's what he's saying to me. I can't get my head around it, therefore it's not true. But look what happened to him. The next card is the Seven of Cups. And if you look at these cups, they represent choices. Right? The message with this card, the Seven of Cups, is to choose wisely. But all these cups are full. And cups represent emotions and intuition, creativity. And spirituality. So it's basically saying choose wisely these different activities. Normally with this card, I would say choose what feels right for you. Feeling is the secret. Okay, that definitely is the homework, isn't it, this week? Feeling is the secret. Follow your feeling, because what are you going to make a choice about? You know, people often go, I'm going to write the pros and cons. And then money's always in there somewhere, isn't it? You know, oh, this is more money, this will cost me money or whatever. And I'm not saying don't write pros and cons, but you know, write the pros and cons and then throw it away. Because this is about choosing wisely, and it's about going with your feeling. And we don't have to always understand um, our feelings. We don't have to always understand why we're feeling a certain way. You know, like if anger suddenly came up, or overwhelm, or despair, you know, or anxiety, you know, if that just suddenly comes out of nowhere and you're like, where's that come from? That's not right. It's like, well, you're feeling it. So sit and feel it and use your awareness to process it on behalf of the collective. Wow. You know, because when you can open your heart and let the anxiety in, when you can open your heart and let the grief in, the sadness in, open your heart, let the anger in. That's literally what we came here to do, because the heart is the highest frequency. And when you can feel those emotions while holding space for your human with a heart full of love, then you transmute those lower frequencies into the love, don't you? It's almost like the love is so great that it swallows everything up. But it's not about not feeling them, as I keep saying, because I had this realization that grief, as I said earlier, grief is not only born out of love, that grief is love on some level, you know? And when you can see it that way, it expands you even more. It elevates you even more. It raises your awareness even more. And when you raise your awareness, you raise your power. You raise your power source. It's kind of like, so this card is saying choose wisely. Um, make the choices in life where that feel right. Doesn't mean feel better. Doesn't mean feel better, because what's happening, because it's a great awakening, and I don't know what's going on with the astrology at the moment, but you know, I'm sure we'll have a chat with the lovely Amy Bird shortly. But when the emotions come up, it's come up for a reason. And so choose to feel it, because it's by feeling it with that level of love and awareness, that's what's changing the world. And you do it all inside. That's why I was saying the action and the changes are on the inside, aren't they? And that's how, and they're going to get reflected back to you on the outside, but it starts on the inside. Wow. The next card is the moon. I'm not surprised it's come up, because this week's messages seems to be all about healing on some level. The moon is about subconscious fears and a need for shadow work. The moon represents the shadow. And this is what we call this, you know, the shadow work. We don't always know where these emotions are coming from. Sometimes we do, obviously. We're not always aware of the depth of them. And the moon represents deep level healing. It's a major arcana card. It represents deep level healing. And that's exactly what we're doing. So we can heal sadness, grief, whatever it might be, anger, anxiety, what have you, deep, deep, deep down, because you are the whole universe. And when you feel it, you're not only raising your own frequency and liberating yourself and lightening your soul, I want to say, but you're doing that for others. I get quite emotional when I say that, because it makes me just fill with gratitude that we all have this power and ability born out of our awareness and out of our level of consciousness. The last card, I'm not surprised again, we've got the 10 of Pentacles. See, there we've got the 9 of Pentacles. I love it when it goes in progression, you know, when it goes like consecutive Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. That's always a really good sign in tarot, because it shows that you're moving on. And so we're moving on from this place of feeling into these emotions, into 10. Tens are completions. They're completions of spiritual lessons. Pentacles is abundance, the abundance of everything, the love, the health, the happiness, the healing, and of course financial stability. And it is for the whole family, because you've got the dogs, the old man, the couple, and the children. It's the whole family. And remember what I said about here, the castle in the background represents your goals in life. Well, in the 10 of Pentacles, they are in that castle. They're in that castle. That is the goal of life. And there's an energy here of inheritance as well, but I see that very much as family related, you know, that we can really serve, because it's our families normally, isn't it, that trigger us to feel, you know, the grief, the sadness, the anger, the despair, and the love, of course. Let's not forget the love and gratitude, but you know what I mean. Very often it is our nearest and dearest, isn't it? But this is how we create this beautifully abundant, overflowingly abundant, I want to say, completion. There is a completion here, and it is so family connected. It's so family connected. It's so important to understand that those that trigger us, the nearest and dearest, our closest family members that trigger us, it's all orchestrated. It's orchestrated by the divine. You are that divine, by the way, but it's orchestrated for us to raise our awareness, because our awareness holds our power. And you are your awareness, and your awareness is your power. Wow. Wow, quite a deep one for this week. I'll be interested to hear what the astrology is doing. And yeah, we're going to be seeing May in as well this week, so keep an eye open for the May messages. Keep trusting in the process of life, which was last week's messages. I'll put a link in the description of the video in the end screen to that as well, because I think that energy is still part of this week as well, isn't it? Trusting that the emotions are coming up for a reason. Take time out to feel into them. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for the collective. I love you, I love you, I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you in the next video. Bye for now.